Kelce is known for his versatility, size, and speed, and has been a tight end in the NFL in recent years. He has been selected to the Pro Bowl 6 times and has been a first-team All-Pro twice. He led the Chiefs to 2 Super Bowl victories. Rumors say he might even be one of the best of all time in the NFL. We've got the list for you, so let's get right into it. Starting off with the play. Kelce is the 5th tight end to join the 10,000-yard club. He now has his name associated with legends that will never be forgotten. The Hall of Fame includes Shannon Sharpe and Tony Gonzalez. When they are eligible, Jason Witten and Antonio Gates are likely to join. Being a member of this team alone would be impressive, but Kelce surpassed the competition by reaching this milestone considerably more quickly, piling up 10,000 yards after just 140 games. Gonzalez needed 177 to hit 5 digits. Gates arrived in 179 games, Witten in 180 games, and Sharpe in 203 games. To put it another way, when they played their 140th game, none of the other tight ends throughout the 10,000-yard club had reached that milestone. Gates was the only player within 2,000 yards of the mark with 8,141 yards at the end of his 140th game. Kelce is miles ahead of his peers, even when compared to Hall of Fame caliber players. Now, focus on the 1,000-yard figure. Kelce recently surpassed 1,000 yards for the 6th straight season. Before the Cincinnati product joined on Sunday, the list of pass catchers with 7 straight seasons of 1,000 yards was made up entirely of wide receivers. He was the 11th player to join the team after 7 straight seasons. Even if the success hadn't been continuous, Kelce's consistency stands out from the crowd. He had 7 seasons with 1,000 yards. He needs just one more 1,000-yard season to top all other players at his position in league history in total yards gained. Now that's impressive. Next up, we have he knows his way around. Astounding in our opinion, Kelce, who turned 33 in October, is now in the middle of his age 33 season, which is calculated by the December 31st system. Most exceptional tight ends don't even make it to age 33. Players like Rob Gronkowski, Ben Coates, and Todd Christensen retired from the NFL before their age 33 seasons. Although that may not seem true, we can assure you that it is. Before Kelce broke the record on Sunday, no tight end 33 or older had completed a 1,000-yard season since the AFL and NFL merged in 1970. A tight end aged 33 or older last reached 4 digits in 1965, when Pete Retzlaff of the Eagles achieved it, a period of 57 years. Before Kelce, the only other tight end to surpass 900 receiving yards in a season at age 33 was Gonzalez, who did it with 4 games remaining. Following this, on the field. In another manner, Kelce stands out from the great majority of his peers. The position of the tight end has a startling attrition rate, and even some of the top players there are occasionally hindered by injury or forced to miss 1 or 2 games. Any top tight end who plays for the whole season is a welcome surprise. Among this generation, Kelce is the exception. He had microfracture surgery on his knee as a rookie, which caused him to miss the whole season, but for 1 single snap on special teams against the Cowboys in Week 2. Kelce hasn't looked back since beginning the 2014 season after recovering from knee surgery. He's only missed 1 game due to injury in the 8+ seasons that have followed, and that was last season when he tested positive for COVID-19. The 3rd-round choice from 2013 has dealt with knee discomfort, and he's had shoulder surgery in 2017, but he's been able to fill in when needed, with the exception of a few meaningless Week 17 games. Next up, across positions. The number of Pro Bowls and All-Pro appearances a player has made over his career is a rough indicator of how well regarded he is across positions. Obviously, Kelce didn't receive any honors during his injury-plagued rookie season or the next year, but throughout the course of the following 7 seasons, he has been selected to the Pro Bowl each time. In 2022, he played his 8th straight Pro Bowl, and he'll be a heavy favorite to make his 4th first-team All-Pro appearance. Kelce has totaled 10,045 receiving yards since returning from surgery in 2014. Zach Ertz, a tight end with the Eagles and Cardinals, is the tight end who has produced the 2nd most throughout that time period, with 6,778. Ertz has 67.5% of Kelce's total, a percentage that will decline over the course of the season as Ertz heals from an ACL tear. Gronkowski, who is retiring and won't add to his 6,031 yards, is the only other tight end to have accumulated more than 5,000 yards during that time. Following this, the doubts. It seems sensible to say that by teaming with Mahomes, Kelce was able to elevate his performance. Of course, a lot of other famous tight ends in the NFL have had the chance to play with famous quarterbacks. Throughout his whole career, Gronkowski partnered with Tom Brady. Together with Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees, Gates was in Southern California. John Elway served as Sharp center for most of his run. Dan Fouts was Kellen Winslow's employer throughout most of his career. Gonzalez and Ozzie Newsome stand out in this case. However, Mahomes has only been in charge for half of Kelce's career. For the first 4 seasons, Alex Smith served as the starting quarterback, and during that time, Gronkowski and Kelce were almost tied for first place in the league in terms of receiving yards, while Gronkowski had the superior quarterback. Before suffering a major injury in Seattle, Jimmy Graham, who was also in that discussion, discussion, played his first 10 seasons of professional football with Breeze, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers as their quarterbacks. Finally, we have a legend. It's always worthwhile to take the unusual into account with football. Kelce may sustain an immediate, unforeseen injury, along with his elder brother Jason, who apparently thought about retiring each of the previous 2 off-seasons. The Eagles center is also performing well, and there is a good potential that they may face off in the Super Bowl this year. Travis hasn't made any indications that he'll be retiring, but I'm sure the Chiefs are concerned about it. He not only plays for the league's most creative play caller with the finest quarterback in sports, but he also maintains an astonishing level of fitness. Although we don't think he'll beat the league's top wide receivers in a 40-yard dash, he has excellent space-finding skills. Kelce hasn't lost much of a beat, if any at all, but the Chiefs will have one of the biggest competitive advantages in football up to that point. Every week, Kelce tips the scales in their favor by working with Reid and Mahomes to confuse rival teams. Given how slowly he appears to be aging, and the fact that he is concluding the finest NFL tight end decade, it won't be long before he is recognized as the best tight end in league history. Travis Kelce has been selected to the Pro Bowl, a prestigious all-star game, in each of the past 6 seasons, and has been named a first-team All-Pro, a recognition given to the best players at their positions 3 times. Is it possible that Kelce could be considered a candidate for the Most Valuable Player (MVP) award, which is given annually to the player who is deemed to have had the most outstanding season in the NFL? Let's get into it. Starting off with his position. The MVP award is typically given to a quarterback or other offensive skill position player rather than a tight end. Tight ends have only won the MVP award twice in the history of the NFL, and both of those players, Mike Ditka and John Mackey, played in a different era when the position was more prominently featured in the passing game. In order to be considered for the MVP award, a player must typically have a strong statistical season and lead his team to a successful record. The MVP award is often given to players who have helped lead their teams to the playoffs or even to the Super Bowl, although this is not a requirement. In addition to individual statistics, voters may also consider a player's leadership and overall impact on his team when determining the MVP. That being said, Kelce has had some very strong seasons and has consistently been one of the most productive players on the Chiefs' offense. If he were to have an exceptionally strong season and help lead the Chiefs to a deep playoff run, it's possible that he could be considered a candidate for the MVP award. Ultimately, the MVP award is subjective and can be influenced by a variety of factors, including team success, individual statistics, and media and fan sentiment. Next up, he's got the support. The success of an NFL regular season depends heavily on the team dynamic. The Kansas City Chiefs have developed an inner system over the past several seasons, and teammates that support and respect one another's skills add to the team cohesion. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who is playing for the Chiefs for the first time, has become used to the group's organizational style. Although he's had an influence on the field, he occasionally finds himself in awe of teammates Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce for their ability. The seasoned receiver recently spoke with the 33rd team about Kelce's potential MVP possibilities and described him as the greatest tight end in history. Shannon Sharpe, a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, was just overtaken by Kelce to move up to 4th all-time. This season, Valdes-Scantling has established himself as a key member of the Chiefs' attack. He recently opened up about the surprise he experiences when Kelce gets double-teamed on specific plays. As Kelce repeatedly shows his brilliance, his teammates' support for him is evident. Although quarterbacks and other skill players often receive more votes for MVP, Kelce may have his best chance to win the award and create history this year. And that's a wrap for this video. What is your favorite moment from watching Kelce play? And do you believe this time the MVP award should be given to Travis Kelce? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.